about holding out like a black belt, all right? So, a few common mistakes we'll go over. So like, think of it, I'm not gonna hold this dude down, especially if he's bigger than me, right? So let's sit here and just like try to strain and push. He can bridge out this pretty easy. He can move me pretty easy, right? So I think it's more like bull riding, all right? So like sit here, like if you ever ridden a bull, mechanical bull at least, right? So I wanna take my knees, I wanna pinch my knees to him, my feet to make little hooks. I wanna hook around him, right? So that way I can keep a hold of it, I can ride it out, right? So no matter where he wants to push and move, my hips can go with him, right? Whereas if I got really wide open hips, he can hit it pretty quick here and start shrimping out easily. He can, if he goes for leg locks, he can get a knee between us. It's really easy for him to move, right? So if I got really loose hips, I can go ahead and bump my hips. So this is easy for him, right? So if I keep my knees tight, keep those toes tight, I can ride this out, I can move around, right? Next part is, I need to keep him off of my hips. So if he's sitting here, he's pushing my hips and framing and whatnot, it's really easy for him to start moving and strip again, right? Start isolating the legs and pushing the legs back. So I need to keep him off of me, right? So if I'm here, I got a pinch, he starts trying to move and trim for a hip, I need to get these hands off of me, right? So I can peel these hands back, trap one on the floor. This is great. This starts setting me up for gift wraps, everything else. So if I'm here, he's trying to defend the gift wrap, great. Come sit here, start working. I'm good. Now I've moved his arms away from my hips. Great place to be, right? So next part is I don't want to let him isolate an arm. So if I'm here, I start working, I really get excited about something. I'm hanging on to it really tight. I'm doing all this stuff and like really leaning into it. Or I got to hold his neck and lean into it. I've let him isolate this arm, so it's really easy for him to put me that way, right? So he can go ahead and grab a hold of my shoulder, he can go ahead and push me. It's easy because he isolated my limb, right? So don't give up the position just because you think you have an arm or something like that. Keep here, keep your tight knees, ride it out, keep him off of your hips, right? I see it work and start grabbing stuff and whatnot, but if I feel him starting to isolate something, whatever, that's okay, I'm gonna let it go and go back to posting, right? So use these hands, post up, he's moving whatever, whichever way he turns, that's easy. I see her post and move, that's fine. I got tight knees, we're good. Every time he tries to push the leg down, I can peel an arm up, I want to keep posting and moving, right? I still like to get his arms isolated and away from my hips. I need to be mindful he can move my hips, right? So if I'm here and I really start focusing on his neck, but his arms are low, he can definitely get my hips down, right? So he can push that knee down, he can definitely get it out. That's easy for him, right? So I got to keep him off my hips, right? So we're here, tight knees, tight feet, right? I'm going to ride it out. I'm keeping him off of my hips no matter what. I'm not gonna let him isolate his arm. So we're here, he tries to shrimp, so I'm gonna push it away. I got this, I'm not gonna stay too focused on it. I'm gonna make sure I keep here good, like this and good. I'm working. Let's say this arm is here and he starts pushing me that way, don't be afraid to let go. We can let go, post out, go right back to it. We're here, but keep his elbows up and keep working. Once I get to here, I'm great, right? Awesome. My knees are tight, I'm good, he's off my hips. I start messing with his alignment now, so I can keep his posture messed up, he can't move me, right? It's a lot harder for somebody to press you. If you've got an elbow up high like this, you've got his head turned over like this, that's really hard for him to move now, right? Because now his neck's messed up, his shoulder's messed up. That one arm, even if he's got that arm free, he's having a really hard time moving my hips now, right? Because he's got that one arm versus my entire body at this point, right? So this is a really good, strong place to be. Versus if I'm here and he's got both arms down, terrible place to be, right? So you see those guys get the really good kicks, they start putting the hips out, it's easy for them, right? Because he's got both hands on my hips, right? So I don't like going down there until I have an arm isolated. Once I get here, I got something isolated. This is great. Now I can grapevine, I can work. Beautiful place to be. Don't immediately go to that until you definitely have a hold of them. Right? Don't be afraid to go to the back. If they start kipping and turning, right? Don't be so dedicated to that, but I can't take the back. We're here, he starts turning, that's fine. Set it up. Go here, set up the back control. No problem at all, right? But don't be afraid to move your position, right?